Okay, so if you're running a small or medium-sized business here in Utah, the phrase digital transformation probably sounds like a big, scary corporate buzzword, right? But what if I told you it's actually the key to finally solving those frustrating problems that just never seem to go away? We're about to break down what it really means and how you can actually use it to grow.
So, does this sound familiar? You feel like you're just constantly putting out the same fires day in and day out, hitting the same wall over and over again, and just wondering, man, there has to be a better way. You're not alone, that's for sure. But here's the thing. What if those exact frustrations are actually a roadmap, pointing you directly to your next big opportunity?
And this is exactly where we flip the script. Those clunky, inefficient processes you're always wrestling with, that's just begging for automation. Feeling stuck with just your local market? Well, that's your invitation to open up brand new revenue streams online. And that tech that feels like it's from the Stone Age, it's basically a goldmine of data you haven't even tapped into yet. See? We're not just fixing pains, we're creating repeatable wins. Okay, so how do we actually build that bridge? How do we get from today's headaches to tomorrow's victories? Well, that's where this whole idea of digital transformation comes in.
All right, let's just cut through the jargon for a second. Digital transformation, or DX, all it really means is using digital tools to improve your business. That's it. It's not about throwing everything out and starting over from scratch. It's about looking at how you work, how you connect with your customers, and simply asking, how can technology make this better?
But why even bother, right? What's the payoff? Well, it's all stuff that directly impacts your bottom line. I'm talking more money coming in, happier clients who actually stick around, and your whole operation just running smoother, more efficiently. And maybe the real kicker, it's about being able to grow your business without having to break the bank on massive new costs. That all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Let's get down to brass tacks. I'm going to give you a super simple 5-step roadmap that any business can start using today.
Okay, so here's the whole plan. First up, you've got to define your goals. You need to know what you're actually aiming for. Second, take a good, honest look at where you are right now. What's working, what isn't. Third, and this one is so important, you start small. Please don't try to boil the ocean. Fourth, you track what you're doing so you know if it's making a real difference. And last but not least, you make sure you're compliant. Protecting your data, your customers' data, it's absolutely crucial. It's a really straightforward process when you just break it down like this.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's talk about what this looks like on the ground, right here in Utah. I've got a couple of awesome examples of local businesses that did exactly this, and, well, the results really speak for themselves.
So you remember step 3? Start small? This is what I'm talking about. The businesses we're going to look at didn't try to reinvent their entire company overnight. Nope. They started with things like moving to the cloud for more flexibility, or maybe setting up a simple online store, or finding a cool tool to automate those boring, repetitive tasks. These are things anyone can do.
Okay, check this out. Our first example is a local Utah retailer. They made one single change, and this number was the result, 25%. But 25% of what? That's a 25% jump in how accurately they could predict what they needed to stock. How'd they do it? They just switched out their old-school cash registers for a modern cloud-based point-of-sale system. All of a sudden, they knew exactly what was selling and when. I mean, just think about that. One simple tech upgrade and a huge inventory headache just vanished. All right, ready for another one? This is from a small manufacturing firm right here in Utah. 30%. A big number, right? But a 30% what? A 30% drop in the time their machines were broken and out of commission. All they did was put these little sensors, you hear people call them Internet of Things or IoT devices, on their equipment. These sensors basically just sent updates on how the machines were doing. So now they could see a problem coming before something actually broke. It's not magic, it's just smart tech solving a really, really expensive problem. So you've seen the plan, you've seen the proof. Now it comes down to the most important part. What is your first step? How do we get the ball rolling for you?
Think of this checklist as your personal action plan. It's pretty simple. 1. Figure out what winning looks like for your business. 2. Be real about where your tech is holding you back. 3. Go look for tools that solve your specific problem. 4, and this is the big one, just pick one small change you can implement. And 5, do a quick check on your data and security. That's it. When you lay it out like this, it's totally doable, right?
Look, if there is one single thing you remember from all this, I want it to be this mantra. Start small, but think big.
You do not have to tackle everything at once. Just one small, smart change can create the momentum you need for huge results down the line. So, I'm going to leave you with this question, and I want you to really think about it. Right now, what is the one single digital step your business can take this week? What's one thing you can do to turn one of those nagging pains into a genuine win? Because that's it. That's where your journey begins.